On a small island near the Great Barrier Reef, a devastating wildfire swept through, turning a paradise into ash. For marine tour guide Aaron, the flames took everything: his home, his community, and his teenage daughter, Isla. She vanished while helping evacuate. Injured wildlife, a hero, swallowed by the chaos. As the island community slowly began to rebuild their homes and their lives, Aaron simply stopped. His life, his world, had ended with Isla's disappearance. He became a ghost, a silhouette against the horizon, his grief a wall between him and the rest of the world. He stopped speaking, stopped engaging, stopped living. Every single evening, without fail, you would find him in the same spot on the shoreline, just sitting, staring out at the vast, indifferent ocean that he believed had stolen his daughter. The rhythmic crash of the waves was the only sound he allowed into his silent world. It was a self-imposed penance, a vigil for a hope he no longer had. The salt in the air felt like tears, and the setting sun painted the water in shades of orange and red, a constant, cruel reminder of the fire that had changed everything forever. He wasn't waiting for a miracle. He was just existing. A man hollowed out by loss, anchored to the spot where his heart had been shattered. Then, one night, something shifted in his solitary routine. A large sea turtle, its movements labored and slow, crawled out of the surf and directly toward him. Its shell was a roadmap of the disaster-burned, scarred, and cracked. It stopped just a few feet away, its ancient eyes seemingly fixed on him. In that moment, something broke through Aaron's wall of silence. He moved without thinking, his old instincts as a guide and a caregiver taking over. He knelt beside the wounded creature, his hands gently tracing the injuries. And for the first time since Isla had vanished, he spoke. His voice was a rusty whisper, but the words were clear. "It's okay," he murmured. "I'll help you." That night, Aaron carefully cleaned the turtle's wounds with fresh water he brought from the community well. He worked with a tenderness he thought he had lost forever. When he was done, the turtle didn't immediately return to the sea. It rested beside him on the sand for a while, a quiet, breathing presence in the darkness. It was a strange comfort, a shared moment of pain and survival. The next night, to his surprise, the turtle returned. It crawled to the same spot, and again, Aaron tended to its injuries. The ritual continued, night after night. The turtle became his sole confidant. He started talking to it, telling it stories about Isla, her laugh, her fierce love for animals, her dream of becoming a marine biologist. The turtle would just listen, its steady presence a balm to his aching soul. It was a connection, a fragile thread back to the world of the living, woven in the quiet of the night. Weeks turned into a month. The turtle's wounds began to heal, the raw burns slowly replaced by pale scars. Aaron felt a flicker of purpose he hadn't experienced since the fire. Tending to this creature gave his empty days a new focal point. One morning, instead of disappearing back into the waves after their nightly meeting, the turtle did something different. It swam slowly away from the shore, then stopped. It turned its head back, looking directly at Aaron, almost as if it was waiting for him. A silent invitation. It was a look he had seen before, a look of trust, a look that said, "Follow me." A feeling he couldn't explain, a mix of curiosity and a strange, budding hope, urged him to move. Aaron rushed to an old, small boat he hadn't touched in months, the engine sputtering to life after a few attempts. He pushed off from the shore and steered it in the direction of the waiting turtle. The turtle led the way, swimming at a slow, steady pace, always staying just ahead of the boat. It guided him along the coastline, past the blackened, skeletal remains of the forest, to a part of the island he thought had been completely destroyed. It led him through a narrow, hidden channel between the rocks, a passage he'd never noticed before. The air changed, growing cooler, filled with the scent of green, leaven things. The narrow channel opened up, and Aaron's breath caught in his throat. He had arrived in a hidden lagoon, a perfect circle of paradise, untouched by the fire. The water was crystal clear, and the surrounding cliffs were draped in lush, vibrant vegetation. It was a sanctuary, a secret garden shielded from the devastation. But it wasn't just the pristine nature that stunned him. Scattered around the lagoon were makeshift shelters built from driftwood and salvaged materials. There were water containers, stacks of supplies, and a quiet collection of animals. Koalas with bandaged paws, wallabies, and dozens of seabirds, all living together peacefully, all being cared for. It was a makeshift, secret hospital for the island's wildlife. His heart pounded in his chest as a wild, impossible thought began to form. He tied up his boat and cautiously stepped ashore, his eyes scanning the incredible scene. Who could have done all this? Inside one of the larger, more carefully constructed shelters, he found it. Lying on a small, makeshift table was a familiar, worn notebook. It was Isla's. His hands trembled as he picked it up. He opened it, and the world fell away. The pages were filled with her familiar handwriting, her detailed sketches of different animals. There were meticulous feeding schedules, notes on wound care, and detailed plans for rescuing more creatures. She had been here. She hadn't been taken by the ocean. She had run toward the danger, not away from it. She had single-handedly built this haven, this Noah's Ark, saving dozens of animals before. Before she disappeared, the last entry was dated the day after the fire finally burned itself out. It simply say, "They're all safe now. I have to go back for more." Aaron fell to his knees on the sandy floor of the shelter, the notebook clutched to his chest. But the tears that came were not of grief, not peacetime. They were tears of overwhelming, gut-wrenching pride. His daughter, his brave, incredible daughter. She hadn't been a victim. She had been a savior. She had spent her final moments living out her greatest passion, her deepest purpose. In that hidden lagoon, surrounded by the life she had saved, Aaron finally felt her presence again. Not as a painful memory, but as a powerful, living legacy. The crushing weight of his sorrow began to lift, replaced by a profound sense of love and admiration. She hadn't left him with nothing. She had left him a mission. From that day forward, Aaron's life had a new purpose. He poured all his energy, all his heart, into the secret sanctuary. He brought more supplies, improved the shelters, and continued the work his daughter had started. He transformed the hidden lagoon into a protected, thriving wildlife sanctuary, officially naming it Isla's Haven. It became his life's work, a living tribute to her spirit. News of the haven spread, and volunteers and donations started to arrive. Inspired by Isla's incredible story, Aaron started speaking again, sharing his daughter's legacy with anyone who would listen. His voice, once silent with grief, was now strong with purpose, and the turtle, the scarred messenger that had led him back to life. After that first day in the lagoon, it never returned to his spot on the beach. Its mission was complete, but Aaron knew the connection wasn't broken. Every year, as the nesting season arrived, new generations of sea turtles would crawl onto the shores of the island, choosing the protected beaches near Isla's Haven to lay their eggs. Aaron would watch them, a gentle smile on his face. He finally understood. Love doesn't always stay with us in the way we expect. Sometimes it doesn't stay at all. Sometimes it leads. It leads us through our darkest nights, guides us to a new shore, and gives us a new reason to see the sunrise. Loss can leave a mission behind, a legacy waiting to be fulfilled. And healing, true healing, often begins the moment we find the courage to follow it. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please consider sharing it and subscribing for more.